this is Jane Douglas here for GameSpot at Gamescom 2011. We're here to talk about Resident Evil Revelations, the Resident Evil title for the 3DS. Thanks so much for joining us. First of all, can you tell us what your intention is with Resident Evil Revelations? It's a fully fledged story-based Resident Evil game, that's right?
This new Resident Evil, Revelations, we're trying to bring something brand new to the series, something very original as far as storyline and characters. So first, yes, as you already know, Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield, two of the original Resident Evil characters, are coming back in Revelations, but there are a number of new characters, one right behind me being Parker, and another one being Jessica. As far as where this game places in the Resident Evil saga, it comes between Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5. And if you remember in Resident Evil 5, there was an organization called the BSAA. Okay? And so Revelations is a lot about the formation of the BSAA and how they came to be and what events led up to the events in Resident Evil 5.
Okay, we've had a go with the game, and it feels rather like Resident Evil Mercenaries. Would you say that's a fair comparison in terms of how it feels to play?
The gameplay does resemble Mercenaries as far as controls. Controls, yes, a lot of the same controls in Mercenaries we took and we implemented them into Revelations. However, the genres of the two games are very different. Mercenaries is a very action-based game, very high energy. So here in Revelations, we have more of kind of a survival horror feel, and so we adapted these controls, the same controls, to Revelations to make it fit best in this story and this game.
That's right, of course, because it is a survival horror game. How is it developing a scary game for the 3DS, for a handheld? Is it different than creating a horror game for a home console?
So first of all, making a survival horror game on the 3DS, we, during development, we did not at first intend to develop this game specifically for handheld devices. We developed it in the same way that we would develop it for a console game. And with the 3DS, there are a lot of functions that the 3DS has that we can achieve more with the game than we can with putting it on a console. For example, the 3D function, the touchscreen as well. We wanted to make the most of those functions and use them in the game to create a very never before, I guess, seen and experienced survival horror game.
Jesus, no one could have lived through that.
For the Resident Evil fans, the long-running fans, can they expect to see any familiar faces besides Chris and Jill?
Well, for Revelations, we decided to focus more on Jill and Chris as far as Resident Evil characters that a lot of the fans are familiar with. But we do have a lot of new characters that have not been announced yet. And the way that the story will unfold and the relationships between these characters we prepared a great story for everyone, so we're hoping that everybody looks forward to the game when it comes out.
The world is in our hands.
It also seems, from what we've played so far, like a scarier game than Resident Evil 5. Would you say you're refocusing on a horror experience?
Yes, it was definitely our intention to kind of stray away from the action aspect of Resident Evil 5. And right now, I'm also working on Operation Raccoon City, and that's a lot more action-based. It's a third-person shooter, real action-based. So with Revelations, we wanted to make a completely different game than that, and focus more on the survival horror aspect of it. And so your character survival is a very big part in the game. You will have limited supplies. Just like in the original Resident Evil games, not that many health items and stuff. So it's going to be very difficult to survive in the game. The game is Resident Evil Revelations. It will be coming out early 2012 next year, and it will be coming out for the Nintendo 3DS.